I'm Chris Jones, and coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, Randy Mazey has decided to step down from his coaching position so he can sit down in the stands and better support his kids' athletic journey.
I'm Max Murphy, and coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, I'll set you up with everything you need to know about the new NCAA volleyball ruling announcement.
Women athletes need 2,300 to 2,500 calories a day through food groups like protein, carbs, and vegetables. But many don't meet that mark. I'll tell you what's contributing to disordered eating among women college athletes. I'm Rachel Liebert, and Mountaineer Playbook starts now.
A new NCAA volleyball rule reverses years of training and is causing an uproar in the sporting community. I'm Jonathan Hamilton.
And I'm Rachel Liebert. WVU is a baseball school. At least that's what fans are saying. We take a closer look at the legacy of the retiring coach who turned the program around.
These stories and more coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, a sports magazine show produced by sports and adventure media students right here at West Virginia University.
The NCAA has allowed student athletes to profit off their name, image, and likeness since 2021. In the first year alone, college athletes earned more than $900 million through NIL deals.
But Rachel, for the past several years, student athletes who transferred from one university to another were required to wait a year, both to play and to enter into these deals.
But a lawsuit brought by one WVU athlete has changed that. Patrick Renaud has the story.
When the NCAA approved their name, image, and likeness policy in 2021, it came with rules. One rule prohibited donors from negotiating with recruits before they committed to a program. However, WVU law professor Ann LaFaso says that's going to change because of a new federal ruling.
After this litigation would be a couple of years from now, these students would lose all that money. So that loss is dead. They can never regain it. And that's why it's called irreparable harm.
The lawsuit started at WVU. Men's basketball guard Raekwon Battle transferred in the spring of 23. Battle said on X, formerly known as Twitter, that he made the decision to transfer because of his mental health.
I wasn't able to focus on what I had to do playing home, and that's kind of what, made me choose to play away from home. A lot of the hardships wouldn't bother me as much as they would if I'm close.
Battle needed a waiver from the NCAA to play this season, but was denied. That denial affected his playing time, but also his ability to make money off of NIL deals.
The schools have pretended these are student athletes, but really they are professional athletes who are being exploited by the schools.
A federal judge ruled the NCAA could not prevent Battle or student athletes in any sport from playing or capitalizing off of their name, image, and likeness.
According to a study from Drexel University and the National College Players Association, the fair market value for the average men's basketball player is $289,031. So although Battle will only be at West Virginia for 1 year, his impact on student athletes will not be forgotten.
In his December video, Battle said sports commentators and journalists shared their support for his stance on social media, calling out the NCAA.
And I actually met somebody in person. I met one person, and, he came up to me, and he was a wrestler here, and he was ineligible, and he was very, grateful of what was going on. He was like, bro, you helped me. I don't know where my life was going to go if I didn't, was able to wrestle this year.
The ruling also means any student athlete playing a winter or spring sport who entered the transfer portal in 2023 is eligible to play this year. For Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Patrick Renaud.
In the case of Raekwon Battle, the NCAA has no choice but to change its rules around student transfers and their NIL deals. But when it comes to the rules of the sport, the organization is voluntarily making some changes as well.
That's right, Jonathan. The NCAA has approved 6 new rules for the upcoming women's volleyball season. They include a change to the number of times a player can touch the ball while setting, something players practice for years to perfect.
This new rule has sparked heated online debate, but our own Max Murphy took to the courts to see how the players and coaches really feel.
A new rule is shaking up the world of collegiate volleyball.
I don't know that bad volleyball is entertaining.
The NCAA implemented a new rule in January that allows players to touch the ball twice in a row if they need to pass to a teammate.
I think it helps the game, speed up, and maybe that's part of it, but I'm not so sure it's entertaining.
WVU libero and Wisconsin transfer Sydney Reed says the rule change will help speed the game up because there will be fewer call disputes.
Certain refs are a little more strict or a little more lenient, and I think that if there's no rule with that at all, it just lets the play keep going regardless of what happened.
The NCAA claimed data collected from experimental rule in the spring of 2022 showed it would change only a small number of calls, but it's getting conflicting reactions from those in and outside of the sport. Players, coaches, and fans alike have taken to social media to share their thoughts on the rule changes, and while the negative comments seem to outnumber the positive, there could be some good to come from it. Despite this rule change, Coach Greeny still wants traditional setters on her volleyball team.
I guess I'm a purist, and as a hitter especially, those are the balls that you want. We're going to train that way and try and be as clean and fundamentally sound as possible.
The rule officially takes effect in the 2024 season, which will start this fall. For Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Max Murphy.
Women's sports have received more coverage than ever in recent years. Just this season, according to Fox Sports, women's college basketball averaged 35,000 more viewers than men's. But with more attention comes more pressure to perform and to look a certain way while doing it. The National Institutes of Health report as many as 45% of female athletes struggle with an eating disorder. I took a deeper look into the issue and ways to combat it. Since Title IX was passed in 1972, women's college athletics have seen an increase in participation in fans. But even with progress, female athletes in all sports, like collegiate dance, are still disproportionately affected by one problem: body image.
You're with girls every day that are all different shapes and sizes, and you're put on stage in either tiny leotards, crop tops, shorts, and it could really affect your mental health. According to ESPNW, 68% of women athletes felt pressure to be pretty. These pressures can be attributed to increased use of social media, where female athletes are exposed to unrealistic body expectations on photo sharing apps. Instagram influencers and Sports Illustrated models create a false perception of what athletes are supposed to look like. A study by the National Eating Disorder Association found a link between high social media use and body image concerns and eating disorders among women ages 18 to 25. When athletes develop these eating disorders, experts say it can have several negative effects. Disordered eating can not only impact their physical performance, but also an athlete's emotional well-being.
Food goes so much further than just nourishing their body for performance. It nourishes their mental health, their social health. It's very much a social activity a lot of times, and just being able to have a positive relationship that, yes, food can fuel you, but it goes so much further than that. Nutritionists like Lemire partner with sports psychologists to provide resources and educate WVU athletes on body image and eating disorders to ensure healthy habits. West Virginia University's Caruth Center for Mental Health has a team designed specifically for student athletes to provide mental health counseling and wellness education. Visit the link at the bottom of your screen to connect with the Caruth Center's resources.
Well, Rachel, it's March, which means the madness of the NCAA basketball tournaments is here. And the West Virginia women's basketball team will be among the field of 68 competing for the national championship. The Mountaineers are the number 8 seed in the second Albany Regional, but it's a tough bracket, Jonathan. Also in the region is record-breaking Caitlin Clark, leading number 1 seed Iowa. This is WVU's 15th time going to the NCAA tournament. Their last appearance was in 2023 under then head coach Don Plitzelwhite. WVU baseball head coach Randy Mazey will step down after the end of the 2024 season. Mazey became head coach in 2013 and since then has produced 14 All-Americans, coached 35 players to the pros, and captured a Big 12 regular season championship in 2023. Coming off that historic title, many Mountaineer fans were shocked to hear about Mazey's planned retirement. But as Chris Jones reports, Mazey believed it was the right time for him to step away.
WVU baseball head coach Randy Mazey is headed into his 12th and final year as he made the decision to retire prior to this baseball season.
Had I not decided to do it when I did it, I don't know how the next 2, 3, or 4 years would have gone here. So I did it for the right reasons.
Mazey came to Morgantown in the summer of 2012 when the team finished next to last in the Big East Conference their previous season. He also faced bleak conditions at Hollyfield, where WVU baseball played from 1971 to 2014, but now the program plays in the upgraded Monongalia County Ballpark, where they are now a Power 5 baseball team taken seriously.
All I'll tell you about my decision is that I did it in the best interest of this baseball program, this university, this state, all the things that I've grown to love so much.
With his decision to retire, Mazey may no longer be coaching the sport he loves, but says he's looking forward to taking on a new role, enjoying the game from the stands. Picture this, a sunny day in May of 2023. West Virginia University is beating Texas Tech 17-2 in the 8th inning. Mazey's focus was no longer on the game. His mind was here at Milan Park, where his son Weston and his daughter Sierra were playing baseball and softball. In that moment, Mazey realized this is where he'd rather be. Mazey will continue on with WVU baseball in an advising role where he plans to bridge the gap between the program and the community. A decision made for his family, but players say his impact on the field will continue on.
He means a lot to me. He's just been a great mentor, and he was a big reason why I came here, and it's been everything that I've hoped for.
Mazey has gotten the baseball program to a point where it's not just successful, but it is also sustainable for years to come. For Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Chris Jones.
West Virginia University volleyball ushered in a new era when athletic director Ren Baker hired Jen Greeny in December.
Greeny is joined by 3 other coaches, including Burdette Greeny, her husband. But they aren't the only 2 coaches on the team to have a relationship off the court. Ethan Moore joins us live in the studio to explain further with his segment, Coach's Corner. Ethan.
Thanks, Rachel. Jonathan, Coach Jen Greeny met her husband Burdette when they were both student athletes at Washington State University. She was a volleyball player and he was on the baseball team. But they aren't the only married couple on the team. Mike and Aubrey Becker joined the volleyball coaching staff in 2023 as well, making WVU the only Division I volleyball program with not 1, but 2 sets of married coaches.
If we're still in that moment, it's too long.
Mike Becker came to WVU volleyball in December of 2023 as an assistant coach. Becker is in charge of running and planning practices. He says his relationship with head coach Jen Greeny and the administration is his favorite part about coaching at WVU.
The support from the administration and the support from our head coach Jen Greeny has been incredible.
But he's not the only Becker on the volleyball coaching staff. Greeny also hired his wife, Aubrey, as an assistant coach in December of 2023.
The Beckers began coaching together last season at Iowa University after getting married a year and a half ago. Combined, they have coached at 9 different universities.
Mike says he enjoys coaching with his wife, and their love for each other helps them to be better coaches.
There's just so much grace within that. So we can come in, one of us can have a bad day, and we know how to pick each other up.
The Beckers aren't the only married coaching couple in Division I volleyball. Greeny came to WVU with her husband, Burdette, who is the associate head coach of the team.
We both have different strengths that we bring to the team, but just having that consistency, day in and day out.
The Greenys and Beckers are hoping to turn around a struggling WVU volleyball program, with their first game falling in August.
While talking to Coach Greeny, she told me she also played for a married couple at Washington State. Clearly, the importance of creating a family atmosphere within a team of her own stuck with her. Thanks, Ethan. At WVU, student athletes must make at least a 2.0 to compete on their respective teams. But this fall, dozens of Mountaineer athletes were honored by the Big 12 Conference for their achievements in the classroom. I spoke with one of those athletes about the difficulty of balancing work and play.
Ryan Baer is a member of the WVU men's soccer team. He is also one of 61 Mountaineers named to the fall academic All-Big 12 team.
Yeah, it means a lot to me, right? Obviously, being a student athlete is more than just being an athlete, right? It's a student part too, so yeah, it means a lot. 44
of the WVU student athletes named to that list made the first team, many of whom had a 4.0 GPA. Justin Wartella, a teaching assistant professor at sports sciences at WVU, says that while some students struggle to start, they usually take advantage of the resources available.
I guess if I had to answer a question, I don't think I think no, in that if they need help, it's there. There are resources here for the student athletes, even if they do struggle initially.
Overall, Wartella says he's been pleased with student athletes' performances in his classes.
According to the NCAA, student athletes spend about 35.5 hours a week in a classroom like this one, and another 33 hours competing and practicing on a field like this.
Bear spends about 4 hours a day studying and in classes, and says academic success for student athletes is all about making use of the time you have.
Time management is super important, right? You know, many times I'll be on the bus doing homework, you know, using my personal hotspot and stuff like that. Luckily, we have a good advisor too, Lucy, so she's always helping me stay on top of things and just kind of make sure that I'm on track.
About 86% of D1 athletes graduate from college, according to the NCAA. That's compared to 64% of all college students.
Coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, we head to the mountain for one of the final ski competitions of the season in West Virginia.
That story and more after the break.
I'm Adam Cooley, and I'll tell you what competition is heating up out here in the cold, next on Mountaineer Playbook.
I'm Ty Holmes, and I'll introduce you to the Morgantown Mountain Goats disc golf team.
Mountaineers know. Let's go! Really means let's try. Let's create. Let's explore. And let's do it all together.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Playbook. Ski season is over in West Virginia, but the state's mountains attracted some fierce competition this year.
Alex Lebo joins us from Studio B at the Media Innovation Center with more in his segment, Finding Adventure. Alex.
Jonathan, Rachel, Snowshoe Mountain offers nearly 250 acres of skiable terrain in eastern West Virginia. And last month, drew in 69 competitors for the USA Border Cross competition. Adventure reporter Adam Cooley hit the slopes to bring us the story.
The United States Snowboard and Free Ski Association, a California-based nonprofit that represents 30 regions across the U.S., hosts one of their events right here in the Mountain State. This year, it was the Board and Ski Cross event for this Appalachian Region resort. This is the 4th year that Snowshoe Mountain has hosted an event for USA. But what does it take to get ready for such an event?
And all week they've been out there, full crew of guys with multiple snowcats and even an excavator at one point.
USA is coming up on their 30th year of taking winter sport athletes and helping them train to be USA Olympic ski and snowboarding competitors.
Speed, right? So you're going to go half speed for this run.
The USA showcases over 5,000 athletes and puts on over 500 events at ski resorts just like here at Snowshoe Mountain.
In addition to the fierce competition, the USA Snowshoe event also fostered a sense of camaraderie among participants.
The glowing afterwards is like a little brighter, I'd say, than like conventional sport.
Athletes from different backgrounds shared their passion for snow sports, creating a vibrant community that united their love for the mountains and the thrill of the sport. For Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Adam Cooley.
According to Statista.com, last year's season saw 11.5 million active skiers, the most active season since they started recording the stat in 1996. With the uptick in participation, keeping your equipment in good condition is of the utmost importance. Adventure reporter Dominic Ayers reports on how the WVU Outdoor Recreation Center is helping students keep their skis and snowboards in tip-top shape.
Wax on, wax off. Wise words by Mr. Miyagi. The students here at WVU are practicing their waxing for the first time.
I don't want to feel like I'm messing up my skis, so just that worry of that I might be doing something to them, but I was reassured that I was doing everything okay.
The amount that's coming up right now.
Students learn the basics of waxing their snowboards and skis for the first time in this workshop hosted by the WVU Outdoor Recreation Center. This wax repels moisture and makes the running surface slick.
It's really important to wax them at least once a season, depending upon how frequently you go out, just because otherwise they'll get worn down and you risk scraping up the base, which is a lot harder to repair than just adding another layer of wax and smoothing it over.
The Outdoor Recreation Center helps students keep not just their skis, but all of their gear at peak performance.
The WVU ORC hosts workshops just like this every semester, including kayak rowing, bike maintenance, and the most popular, the 90-minute blade class. These shops help students to hone their skills and further their love for the hobbies they enjoy.
There have been 4 workshops this year, with each one being fully booked. And workshop leaders say coming into the center is better than learning on your own.
Yeah, I think it was really beneficial for the people that showed up to be able to get like hands-on experience and learn from somebody instead of just the internet. I think it's hard sometimes when people try to learn those skills and they aren't able to like have the resources in front of them.
The Outdoor Recreation Center offers weekly workshops focused on the outdoor sports that are currently in season. From Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Dominic Ayers.
From workshops to guided trips across West Virginia, you can learn more about what the Outdoor Recreation Center has to offer at the link at the bottom of your screen. Jonathan, Rachel, back to you at the Waterfront Studio.
Thanks, Alex. As fun as all that skiing and snowboarding looks, I'm ready for some warm weather, Jonathan.
I definitely agree with that, Rachel. And you know what comes with warm weather? Golf season. As excited as I am to hit the greens, Ty Holmes joins us live in the studio to tell us about a different kind of golf that has exploded in popularity. Ty?
Jonathan, Rachel, there are more than 10,000 disc golf courses in the U.S., and 110 of them are located in West Virginia. I went to one of these courses to learn more about the sport from Morgantown's very own Mountain Goat Disc Golf Club.
Disc golf is played much like traditional golf, but with disc and baskets. It combines skill, strategy, and the great outdoors. Chris Letourneau of the Mountain Goats Disc Golf Club in Morgantown says it's a sport for anybody.
It's a wide aspect of players actually come out and play, so it's literally for anybody.
Disc golf began to spread as a sport in the U.S. in 1960. Today, there are more than 10,000 active players in the Professional Disc Golf Association. But in Morgantown, players are doing more than just competing. They are working to make the sport more accessible.
Improving the course here at Dorsey's Knob, and then my most recent project is to install and construct a course at Cooper's Rocks.
Club members have volunteered their time to build and maintain the 18-hole course they play on, and they use it as a way to give back to the Morgantown community.
The Mountain Goats also host junior disc golf competitions to raise money for the nonprofit school, Mountain Soul. In 2023 alone, they raised more than $7,000.
The junior disc golf competition brings out middle and elementary age students to learn about the sport while raising money. The Mountain Goats have held a place in the community for 10 years.
In 2023, there were nearly 22 million rounds of disc golf scored on UDisc, a disc golf app used to track stats nationwide. The Mountain Goats are doing their part to make this growing sport more accessible in our area.
Thanks, Ty. Coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, the WVU women's soccer team is kicking off their spring season by supporting a good cause.
And we meet a standout freshman who is making a name for himself in the Big 12.
These stories and more after the break. Stay with us.
Coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, one freshman WVU wrestler has been putting opponents flat on their backs. I'm Brian Volman, and I'll have that story next.
Mom, I got in.
Quiet and ready in control room. 3, 2, 1. Fade in bumper.
WVU News is local, in-depth, and always on the move for you. And it's always on YouTube, on the web, and on the Reed College of Media website. a national first place Emmy Award-winning college newscast taped at the Waterfront Studio at West Virginia University. Stay in the know, stay connected, watch WVU News.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Playbook. WVU wrestler Ty Waters is only a true freshman, but he is already showing he has what it takes to compete at the collegiate level.
His 4 regular season losses are the second lowest of the starters on WVU's team, only behind sophomore Jordan Titus.
Wrestling reporter Brian Volman joins us live in the studio with more. Brian.
Rachel, Jonathan, wrestler Ty Waters is no stranger to winning. He was a champion at the National Powerade Wrestling Tournament, a prestigious competition for high schoolers. Now in college, this freshman is picking up where he left off.
Comes out the back door, and Waters uses his left leg to knock Garvik off balance.
As a senior in high school, Ty Waters finished 39-0, winning his second straight Pennsylvania state championship. His freshman year at WVU wasn't much different. Waters competed and earned the 149-pound spot in the starting lineup at preseason wrestle-offs.
One of my goals was to obviously start, and then another goal of mine was I just wanted to get ranked like in the top 20, and now I'm like number 7, number 6, and then another was to be All-American.
Waters was the only true freshman to start for the Mountaineers this season.
Well, at wrestle-offs, he did a really good job, and we had some, solid kids coming back, some good upperclassmen, and, he did a really good job at wrestle-offs, and we were like, wow, we think we're going to have to wrestle this kid. He's too good not to put in there.
Ty Waters heard that sound 9 times this season, specifically in a 9-1 stretch, with all wins coming from pinfall. His 9 pins ranked 5th in the NCAA. Waters finished the regular season with a 21-4 record and was ranked 6th in the NCAA coaches poll. Coach Flynn says Waters has handled the transition to college wrestling like a pro.
He's just done a nice job of handling college wrestling and the length of the season, the ups and downs of a season. He's been pretty professional with that.
Waters can reach his next goal of becoming an All-American by finishing in the top 8 at the National Championships in March. Waters' success continued at the Big 12 Championship earlier this month, where he came out on top in the 149-pound weight class. He is the 4th WVU wrestler to clinch a Big 12 championship in school history.
Thanks, Brian. Earlier this month, WVU women's soccer held their 4-versus-4 breast cancer tournament.
This annual event raises awareness and money for breast cancer research in Morgantown. The tournament started in 2009 and allows 3-person teams from the community to play with a WVU women's soccer player. This year, 65 teams competed, mostly made up of kids in grades 3 through 8. The annual event has raised more than $150,000 over the past 15 years for the WVU Cancer Institute's Betty Pushkar Breast Care Center.
You may have something going on, but other people have stuff going on inside or mentally, and you need to think of other people because they're probably having a harder time than you are.
WVU soccer begins its spring competition this month.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Mountaineer Playbook. I'm Rachel Liebert.
And I'm Jonathan Hamilton. Thank you for watching, and don't miss the chance to celebrate the heart and soul of the game with us next time on Mountaineer Playbook.